All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waharakak, Wadash. I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone for teaching his word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching and prophesying and believing in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And it's the brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another live lesson. Today's live lesson is entitled Blood on Black Wall Street, a documentary review. And this lesson was inspired by the apostles from last Saturday's live show, street preaching. And Apostle Hart had mentioned, there was a series of documentaries that was being that was going to be pushed out. The beginning of this month. Today is June 1st, 2021, year of prophecy. And the one that I found was on CNBC. It was from CNBC. It was entitled Blood on Black Wall Street, The Legacy of Tulsa, the Tulsa Massacre. And it's a heavy documentary. I didn't even get through it all. I'm just like less than 10 minutes in. But, I was kind of looking for something that kind of struck out to me because I'm familiar with what happened, and we're going to get familiar with what happened in this lesson, Lord willing, if it be the Lord's will. Okay, and we're going to get familiar about this whole thing because recently I saw this on social media right here. You got Democratic members of the Congressional Black Caucus dancing on a site of what is Black Wall Street, and instead of like dude said here, instead of advocating for reparations for Tulsa race massacre victims on a day of 100th anniversary, Democratic members from the Congressional Black Caucus instead decide to use the day to pay their respect to the massacre victims with freestyle banjo dance-off. So they basically shuffling Jake back on the plantation. And these are the leaders. These are the so-called leaders of the so-called black people in America, man. These Congressional Caucus members who nothing more than boule members, insiders that do the bidding of Esau. And the most they'll do is they'll come down and they'll do a shuck and jive for you, but they're not going to plead your cause. The real leaders of our people, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, okay, and the brothers on down, the leaders of the elect of Israel, through Yahweh Shema Shai, we're pleading the cause, man. Because down here, you're not going to get no reparations from Esau. Esau's not going to make right what he did wrong to us. And Tulsa, Oklahoma was just one of many, 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 many acts of hatred Esau did against us. Of people that did nothing to you. We didn't have war with you. When Gad was fighting against you, it's because you were impeding on his land and his tribes. Okay? Gad didn't come to you and take you over. Neither did Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the so-called Negro tribes. But every time, and Jake never once since this country was established or since the so-called abolition of slavery and the Indian Removal Act, never once did our people come against you for what you did to us. Okay? Jake just tried to make best what they could. And when I say Jake, I'm talking about the Negro, Latino, Native American here in America. And when our people did stand up to try to better themselves, as you Edomites like to say, our people are lazy and shiftless and don't like to do anything. Well, here it is. You had a whole enclave of so-called black wealth in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And what you Edomites do, you found the first opportunity, you raised it to the ground, you burnt it to the ground. And now these Negro step and fetch leaders, this is what they do. Fucking disgusting. And that's why the Lord gonna destroy you niggas, man. First and foremost, not even just these black congressional caucus leaders, but the rest of you niggas, and you got Edom over there taking pictures, and you niggas playing a fucking having a banjo hoedown like you black on a plantation. They don't even play that music no more. So you niggas had a slave soul train line, man. And this is what your leaders do. This is what the leaders of Israel continue to cause them to do. It says, this is Isaiah 9:16. It says, for the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Because you can't tell me that these caucus leaders don't know about that they're Hebrew Israelites. They don't see the Hebrew Israelite movement spreading like wildfire across the earth, not just America, but they cause them in the air. And then you follow these people, you're gonna be destroyed, because these so-called Negro leaders, this bitch got a Crown Vic royal mask on, you know, dancing. Why? Because they believe in this system. You get Jake want to dress in a kente cloth, that West African style of clothing. That's the only time you niggas put it on, is when you want to get back to African American roots and shit. You see, the only time a Negro woman will put a dress on is if she want to be like, oh, Ashe, Ashe. And that's a spirit, because I did a little video. I seen a little video earlier this week and posted it up, and it basically show you them fake woke people, man. You know, just a bunch of niggas that think they woke, but really they still in Never Never Land and Dreamland. You see, and these are the leaders. And instead of them pushing for real correction, what they do, and then when we speak about the correction of the Lord, these fake leaders, what do? They speak ill of that, man. Again, and when you read the title for this, it says, the Most High God's anger with Israel's arrogance, man. And our people are hella arrogant, man. Because the dude, what the hell are you dancing for? You basically dancing on the graves of your ancestors, man. And it's nothing to celebrate. They didn't make, Esau didn't make right what he did in Oklahoma or anywhere else in the world, or in America, for that matter. But yet you got our people dancing. Meanwhile, these Asians, they get a couple of months of ass whoopings, okay, by Edomites and Jakes, and they get a hate crime bill launched and passed in a record number of time. In a record number of time, those Moabites, they can get they get their just due. But 100 years has passed and you niggas ain't get shit. You see, somebody else said, what the F is this SHIT, sugar honey iced tea, and wonder why they don't respect us. This should be an armed protest that demands reparations, which we don't preach about going out there with weapons, because that's not going to get you reparations. Our reparations going to come from Yahweh Shem Shai. But you people, you don't believe in the Lord. And he's the same so-called church-going people and all of others, they don't believe in the Lord. They don't believe the Lord is going to make right what's been done wrong to our people. It says house Negroes at its finest. And that's exactly what it was. It's an epic fail. And it's just another example of another reason to shun and to distance yourself from black culture, because it's nothing but an epic fail. This is what plantation Christianity has done to our people. This is what being here over in the West has done to our people. Look at this nigga. Niggas need death. Niggas need death, man. You might as well pull Barack Obama and Michael Obama out there, and Michelle Obama would have been swinging her rod, dancing out here. You see? That's all you niggas do. You niggas always love to go back to the plantation, man. And everybody's disgusted with these people, man. Everybody's disgusted. It says, I don't know what the dancing was for. Surely it is in the celebrations. And what they celebrate, they gotta be dancing to celebratory mood, man. Like Jeremy Simmons said, Tulsa was horrible, yet E is still unapologetic. and he always going to be that way because he hates you. Our experience here in Babylon the Great, which you call America, has been an experience of total hatred from all our enemies, including the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Yeah, somebody said we pulled ourselves up by. Let me get that. Let me get that. So somebody said yeah, the brother right here, the brother I'm Raya. He said we pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps and they annihilated Jake. Yeah, they did. Cause this ain't our rest. Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. Right, this place is wickedly polluted with evil. So that Black Wall Street wasn't meant to work out. It wasn't meant to be an enclave of black excellence and black wealth and black perseverance. So-called black, because we ain't black. And this place was called Little Africa. We ain't even Africans. So this place, we weren't sent down here and set up here in America to thrive. Now, in all our captivities, you always had Jake thriving, because we just those kind of people, because we're the Lord's people. And we can make a way out of no way. But this ain't it, Chief. Going back to Micah 2:10, it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with a sword of destruction. And that's what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, you got Jake out here. I wish I had that video of basically this young Jake woman. She was saying, basically, Judite woman. She was saying basically what kind of God will basically let his people go into slavery, all because of idolatry. Like as if idolatry is a little slight sin, you know? As if it's just something to scoff at, you know? But we were brought here to America on filthy cargo slave ships, man, and made to serve a rigorous, toilsome, burdensome slavery here in America, man. And you get a few of our people rising up in the ranks, and you think you done made it, so much so that you niggas will do this. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. And you niggas deserve death, man, because every time you show out, what you do, you just make a mockery of yourself. And said they not gonna give us shit. You damn right they ain't gonna give you nothing. And we're gonna show you through this documentary that they ain't giving you shit. They ain't giving you shit. They can talk about what happened to you, but they not gonna make it right. Now let this have been some so-called Chinese shit. Even these what you call them Polynesians over here, or the Japanese or the Arabs. Y'all done made that shit right quick as fuck, man. But because we don't have an army, we don't have sovereignty, we don't have a leg up in this society, you Edomites, you just do whatever you want to our people. And then you get the sellouts of our people who cause our people to err, and then it's all good. But I'm gonna look up this word for rest and Micah 2:10. That word for rest, the Hebrew word there is manawaha, okay, and it says rest in place, a rest, quietness. It says figuratively a consolation, specifically matrimony, a marriage, hence an abode, a comfortable ease and quiet. And for some time over there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Jake had ease. All right, you had ease, you had comfort. But then this what the so-called white man did to you.
A mob of armed rioters used torches 100 years ago. One of the nation's most affluent black communities was attacked by ground and by air. A mob of armed rioters.
Yeah, but it wasn't. They said armed rioters. No, it was Edomites. Here it is. They don't even tell you that those reserve pilots or whatever, they got their own private planes and government planes and bombed Little Africa, aka Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, to smithereens, man. And before they did that, them Edomites ran up in each and every last one of them houses and took out shit because they were hating. They took out people pianos, looking at Jake saying shit like, a nigga got a piano and I don't even have a piano. And they robbed Jake. You know, but there was no recompense for that.
Most affluent black communities was attacked by ground and by air. A mob of armed riders used torches and even private airplanes to destroy 35 square blocks in an area in Tulsa, Oklahoma, known as Black Wall Street. The prosperous business district used its residents murdered. Tulsa raised Wall Street. The prosperous business district was razed. Its residents murdered. Tulsa raised
and that show you that go back to even Jerusalem when you Edomites said race it. You never like us having nothing. You Edomites always had a problem, an issue with Jake having anything, especially the Holy Land. That's the exact reason why. That's exactly why these Edomites don't want you in Israel today. Everybody else can come, but we can't. Everybody else can be the children of the Most High or the children of the Lord or the Lord's people or Israelites, but we can't be Israelites. You see, nothing but hate. This Psalms 137:7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem. And then during this time, the Edomites were in subjection under King David, man. He put their ass in the hardcore subjection, man. But yet the Lord, because he's a prophet too, the Lord had him say this. Remember, O Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, the children of Israel in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof, O daughter of Babylon. So you notice he talking about Esau. Esau will be ruling in the kingdom of the daughter of Babylon, which is America, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. And you Edomites, you served us in a violent manner. In all your incarnations, when you had rulership, you always found a way to reward us evilly, man. So in the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna be happy to reward you as you rewarded us. When America is burnt down to the ground by nuclear missiles, we're gonna be happy. We're gonna be jumping up and down, screaming and giving praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, yelling and screaming, giving praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for this fucking place to be burnt to the fucking ground, man. About goddamn time, man. O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stones. Because y'all did that too.
Remains one of the worst incidents of racial violence in our nation's history, and the horrific event is the subject of a new documentary called Blood on Black Wall Street, The Legacy of the Tulsa Massacre. Here's Bertha Coombs with a preview.
1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Greenwood section of town nicknamed Black Wall Street.
These were mom and pop type operations, sole proprietorships, beauty salons, restaurants, grocery stores, haberdasheries, pharmacies.
But racial tensions turned deadly in this segregated city when an armed white mob, backed by law enforcement, descended on the thriving black business district.
So they were backed by law enforcement, man. You see? So the cops ain't do shit for you. The military didn't do nothing for you. And Jake tried to mount up a little force because of World War I veterans. Okay? And see, they'll talk about it 100 years later because there's really nobody here to really claim it. You got this one woman, and I think like several of her family members or something like that, that's still alive, but they in their hundreds. She's 107 years old. This woman, 107 years old, the oldest survivor of Tulsa Race Massacre, testifies before Congress to do what? They ain't gonna cut you no check. And what is a couple dollars gonna do in this time? They giving you free money now, so-called money, and it ain't doing nothing for you. See, that's why this place gotta be burnt to the fucking ground, man. Salaki for my language, man.
intent of destroying it, killing anyone who got in their way. Descended on the thriving Black business district, with every intent of destroying it, killing anyone who got in their way.
In less than 24 hours, that mob turned 35 square blocks of unparalleled Black economic prosperity into smoldering ashes.
We saw coming up the wall 4 men with torches in their hand. When my mother saw them coming, she said, "You get up under the bed, get up under the bed." They set our house on fire and went right straight to the curtains and set the curtains on fire.
Unfathomable damage. 10,000 left homeless. In 2001, the Oklahoma Commission estimated between 100 and 300 people killed. A century later, generations of families still haunted by the physical and financial toll the massacre left behind.
Blood on Black Wall Street airs on CNBC Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, so, and this is actually, you can watch this documentary on YouTube right now. Blood on Black Wall Street, the legacy of the Tulsa race massacre, because that's exactly what it was. It was a massacre. They had that one woman right here. I don't think that's her. It was another woman. She was crying, saying basically what it could have been. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't never going, because really the Lord sanctioned that. Because again, this place is not our rest. This ain't our rest, man. And Esau know what he doing. It was something, I don't know what I was watching or listening to a couple days ago, and they basically said that Esau, he does this kind of stuff on purpose. You know, he'll talk about something that happened 150 years, 75 years ago. He'll talk about something like that after the fact, because the young generation, they're not going to care about what happened back then, and they're not going to push for reparations or repayment for what Esau has done, because they're going to be so concerned with just living today. And that's the mindset that Jake is in. And you can blame these leaders, your Martin Luther Kings, your Stokely Carmichaels, you know, all these your Jesse Jacksons, your Al Sharptons, because shit is happening to Jake now. And they bring out these old bats out the grave. They resurrect these old civil rights niggas out the grave to do what? To basically lull you back to sleep and give you a perception that they're fighting on your behalf. But in reality, they could care less about you. And they're juiced in. And they looking for a payday. And Al Sharpton, he been doing this shit since Yusef Hawkins, man. Out there in New York City in like the early 90s, something like that. Late 80s, early 90s. That whole Yusef Hawkins situation. He just showed up out of nowhere. And then when that shit was over, he just disappeared like a phantom in the wind. And he ain't telling you that you are Israelite. He ain't telling you why these things are happening to you. And you Israelites today, you don't want to listen. You hard-headed. You niggas are just hard-headed. You don't want to listen about why these things are happening to you. You can't believe that the God of the Bible, the God of the Israelites, the only God that exists, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, could allow something like this to happen to you. And why it's happened to you? Because your iniquities are great in the sight of the Lord. And then you get these false leaders that'll just lull you back to sleep and have the audacity to tap dance, to shuck and fucking jive, to do a goddamn slave dance on a graves of their people. They're dancing. They're out here dancing on the graves of your people. For what? What are you celebrating? You Negroes, you marched for like with the last 5 or 6 almost 10 years with that Black Lives Matter shit, all to enrich your leaders. What that bitch do? What did she do? She had to resign. Why? Because she was catching all that hell because she bought $1 million homes. She bought $1 million home. Her gay lover, her stud wife, man. See? This demon right here. Black Lives Matter co-founder stepping down from the organization. Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice Cullors, who is a witch. She's a whole witch. She's into witchcraft. She's a lesbian. She forefronted a group. She forefronted a group to be a group that was all about destroying the patriarch, the male patriarch. But you ain't doing that to Esau. These are your leaders, your women. Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice Cullors has announced that she is transitioning out of the role of executive director on Thursday on her YouTube. I feel excited for my next journey. She said, I didn't make a public announcement. I really wanted to see the next generation of leadership lead. She said, nah, this bitch was getting out because she done spent all that fucking money. She got rich. They lead, they profit for hire. They prophesy for payment. You know what I'm saying? They get out the way because of that money. She got millions of dollars. She's able to buy multi-million-dollar homes in California. You know what I'm saying? Multi-million-dollar homes. Let me see if I can find that. This demon. These are your leaders. They've been doing this since the civil rights era. All them niggas got rich. Why you think they treat the Martin Luther King family like a nigga royal family, man? Okay? They all got rich. They enriched themselves on our destruction. Yeah, it says BLM leader buys mansions. Yeah. It says right here. BLM co-founder Patrice Cullors $1 million real estate buying binge. She went on a binge. She went on a binge. She went on a whole binge. This demon. As protests broke out across the country in the name of Black Lives Matter, the group co-founder went on a real estate buying binge, snagging 4 high-end homes for $3.2 million in the U.S. alone, according to property records. Patrice Cullors, 37, also eyed property in the Bahamas. They living good. She's shaking and baking right now, driving a Bentley. She probably got the Bentley Bentayga, you know, listening to Cardi B on Explode. You know what I'm saying? Broke niggas don't deserve no kitty. I know that's right. Yeah. Property in the Bahamas at an ultra exclusive resort where Justin Timberlake and Tiger Woods both have homes. The Post has learned luxury apartments and townhouses at the beachfront Albany Resort outside of Nassau are priced between $5 million and $20 million. All that marching, all that defunding the police. It's leaders like this, leaders like this, and like this. They dancing all the way to the bank. These niggas are dancing and shucking down all the way to the bank. I'm sorry, Slaki. These niggas like this is dancing and shucking and jiving all the way to the bank. While the majority of people are living in abject poverty, check to check, foot to mouth, waiting on the next stimulus check. They're buying up $1 million properties. The self-described Marxist, and she's a self-described Marxist, last month purchased a $1.4 million home on a secluded road. No, ain't no Negro staying there. All that Black Lives Matter, paint the streets black and gold, you know. All that she did to get away from you niggas, to be covered because she's a LGBTQBZ person, and she's a so-called woman of color. These are what you leaders don't care nothing about you, man. Let me get another scripture, man. Whose possessors slay them. What is it? This is Zechariah. Hey, this shit make you mad. And then they want to resurrect Tulsa, Oklahoma. The fuck? It's Zechariah 11:5, man. It says, thus saith, I'll start at 4. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, my power. Feed the flock of the slaughter, because that's what our people are in this place. a flock led to the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Right. And that's what this whole Black Wall Street is about. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Who are our possessors? You Edomites, man. You Edomites, and you hold yourselves not guilty. You hold yourselves not guilty. You know? Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So who are your shepherds? What is a shepherd? Let's go to that. These damn roosters crowing so early in the morning. Well, hey, the roosters, the chickens are coming home to roost anyway. The Hebrew word there for a shepherd is ra'ah, and it says a pasture, a tender, a feeder, a tend to tend to the pasture. Basically a leader. Okay? Your leaders, they're not pitying you, man. Your religious leaders, your political leaders, okay, your activists, they're not pitying our people. While we in the possessions of those that slay us, they don't care. You see?
Leave the Greenwood community defenseless.
We saw 1,256 homes destroyed.
Today, that land would have been valued at $25 to $30 million. The official death toll was 37, a number almost too low to believe.
Most experts believe that between 100 and 300 people were killed, most of them black. A number of folks in the Greenwood community were interned during the massacre. What that did was to leave the Greenwood community defenseless.
Thousands tried to flee Greenwood.
White guy asked my grandfather, when the hell you going? You using the N-word. And my grandfather said, we're going out of town. And he said, not this day, you're not going out of town. Bam.
Yeah, and they just killed Jake without any remorse or recourse, no actions, no liability or nothing. All this started over a Jake that was popping an Edomite woman, because they say the guy who this whole riot, so-called riot and massacre was started upon, because that's what they, the Edomites, they lie about everything. They claim that this man was an elevator operator and he attacked a so-called white woman. Come to find out, he was popping that bitch. And she said they were about to get married. They said she was kissing on him. And an Edomite saw it. And he said that he assaulted that woman. And did she come out in defense and marching with the rest of the black folks that was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, getting shot to shit and robbed out of their houses? Nope. That's why you ain't supposed to trust your enemy, man. You see what kind of shit? And then they shot this man. This is 1999. This man's dead. The majority of the people that are still alive are the children, not even the adults that went through this, but the children. And they ain't get nothing. And they got old and raggedy and died off. But they videotaped a lot of this stuff. That's why the Lord said this in 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. See, the so-called white men don't believe that it's a righteous thing to have recompense against him for what he did to us, but he can get recompense. He can feed his jealousy, his hatred, his anger, his covetousness. But we can't feed our revenge, man. We just gotta be on some MLK shit. Little black boys and little white boys holding hands, living in a world where they judge on the content of their character and not the color of their skin. Nigga, please. That's why the Lord got rid of him, Malcolm X, all them niggas, because they wasn't right. Seeing it, 2 Thessalonians 1 and 6, seeing it as a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. So it's a righteous thing. If you trouble us, that for you to have recompense, or the payback, to recompense somebody mean a payback, somebody that troubled you, man. And who has troubled us more than the so-called white man?
You saw your grandfather get shot? I saw him get shot. Bam.
The first aerial terrorist attack in American history. was not done by Al Qaeda, was not done by the Japanese. But the first time we were attacked by air in this country, it's done by white men. And they flew planes that were owned by privately held corporations.
And why did them privately held corporations do what they did? You know that they say it was oil in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let me see if I can find that. Check this out. See, man, this is why you gotta do it. Everything is a Google away, man. Every answer is a Google away, man. Check this out. Greenwood, 1921, one of the worst race massacres in American history. In the days after World War I, a neighborhood in Tulsa, Oklahoma called Greenwood was among the wealthiest black communities. Oil made Greenwood rich, but jealousy made it suffer. In 1921, a white mob with incendiary rage burned Greenwood to ashes. See, you can't make this up. We ain't making this up. I ain't sitting here just hyping you up. The Spirit of the Lord got all of this stuff being revealed in this time. So not only was Greenwood a wealthy enclave of well-to-do Jakes who just basically not even a century far removed, not even 50 years removed from slavery, they were able to come up with money to create a wealthy enclave on top of the fact they had oil in that land. And you already know what Esau do with oil and gold, shit like that. He goes nuts, man. He goes nuts. He goes nuts. And them niggas was living on that land, and them Edomites were jealous. So they said what? That corporations, planes flew by owned by corporations. Not just wealthy Edomites, but corporations. And what did them corporations want? That oil. They had to get them niggas up off of there. They were like, these niggas gotta go. And on top of that, it was also said that they were doing some trading with Russia. Because Russia was poor. Wasn't poor, but Russia was trying to make inroads, and Jake had oil. So you know that's gonna bring countries in. And that's why to this day, ain't no black oil barons, man. There's not one black oil baron alive today. That's a strictly Edomite business. And these other heathens. But Esau, he's overseeing the whole thing.
White men, and they flew planes that were owned by privately held corporations.
When I was awakened by my mother, I was real frightened because she told me what was happening. And she says, we have to go out, get out. She says, the white people are killing the colored people.
Farther north from the train tracks out of town, the nightmare was just beginning. Eldoris Makandashi, just 9 years old at the time, was running for her life.
And the track was just full of people, and all I could see was black rolling smoke down south and the people going north. It was just the sound of this bricks, stone, buildings blown up, just the war-torn place.
Eldoris's granddaughter, Joy Makandashi, can only imagine the horrors of her grandmother's escape.
So the bullets are bouncing off of the train tracks and stinging their feet. She's already scared to death. But now they realize, oh, they're shooting at us. They're dropping bombs on us.
Bullets were just raining down over us. Airplanes was up. It's raining down the bullets. And I was so frightened, I pulled away from my parents.
And you can't tell me that a one white woman's life being attacked caused all that. That was hatred, man. All that shit was straight up hatred, man. This is Ezekiel 35:1. And then you got Jake out here trying to, caveat for this devil. You Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you always ask questions about the so-called white man. Well, what about the white man and this and that? What about him? Fuck the Esau, man. Worry about yourself, because they worried about themselves. They're not worried about you. Don't let the marches, don't let the so-called 1 and 2 cases of black victory and the judicial system fool you, man. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. This man hates you, man. He hates your guts. He hates your face. He hates your spirit. He hates our power. He hates your God. You see? Don't let the smooth taste fool you, man. Ezekiel 35:1, the prophesied against Mount Seir. Mount Seir is another name for Esau, Edom. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste. And that's talking about America. Thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, a never-ending hatred. Let's look up that word for perpetual. Because thou hast had a perpetual It says never ending or changing. So that hatred is always there. But yet you got Jake thinking that Esau don't hate you no more. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. So you Edomites, you had nothing but a perpetual hatred of our people, man. What our people do to you? Here it is, you had us in hardcore chattel slavery for over 250 years in America. We just talking about America, North America. We ain't talking about South and Central America. We ain't talking about in Portugal, Spain. We talking about just over here in America. We suffer brutality by you devils. And what did we mount up a force against you? We outnumbered you. But Jake was weak. Jake was low. Jake, you couldn't even say Jake was happy to be free, because a lot of Jake didn't know a lot of these so-called, we just talking about one tribe. See, you Edomites got a lot to pay for, but we just talking about the tribe of Judah here in America. They didn't mount up a force against you. They didn't go robbing you, stealing from you. They didn't even know why they were being let go. A lot of them call it the big break. You see? And you know, they would just let go and caught more hell than they did when they went in chattel slavery. The brother GMS and the Truth Orlando, Zechariah 1:15. I think he's one of the head brothers in Orlando. Shalom, brothers, and shalom to all y'all on the comment board. It says, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. So here it is, the Lord put us in your hands because he was displeased with us, a little displeased with us. But what did you heathen do? You helped forward our affliction. You kept it going. You ain't never let it stop.
I ran into this chicken too with all the other people.
100 to 300 dead, thousands more missing. In 2001, the Oklahoma Commission to Study the Race Riot of 1921 released a report naming 3 locations where mass graves from the massacre may be buried. But at the time, the city administration decided that it wasn't worth the expense to dig up the past.
You see that? Oh, wait. Look what they said.
Released a report naming 3 locations where mass graves missing. In 2001, the Oklahoma Commission to Study the Race Riot of 1921 released a report naming 3 locations where mass graves from the massacre may be buried. But at the time, the city administration decided that it wasn't worth the expense to dig up the past.
Yeah, Esau said it wasn't worth the expense to dig up the past. You see that? Here it is. They had a little commission. They had a commission going on. And what did they say? It wasn't important enough. I mean, it was too expensive. Let me see what he said again.
Dead. Thousands more missing. In 2001, the Oklahoma Commission to Study the Race Riot of 1921 released a report naming 3 locations where mass graves from the massacre may be buried. But at the time, the city administration decided that it wasn't worth the expense to dig up the past.
It wasn't worth the expense to dig up the past. And that's a sentiment through all these Edomite political leaders, man. You can go to Mitch McConnell, search up Mitch McConnell on a YouTube and put in reparations. Put in Lindsey Graham on YouTube and put in reparations. They say the same thing. Oh man, we passed all that. We done came to grips with our original sin. You know, nobody's living today should be paying for that. Your faithful president. This is what he said. This what Weekend at Bernie's Joe Biden said. This is a quote from Joe Biden. Slamming reparations. This is 1975. Joe Biden's comments slamming slavery reparations. School busing resurfaced by the Washington Post. All right, and this is what he said. Joe Biden said, "I don't feel responsible for the sins of my father and grandfather." He continued, "At the time, I feel responsible for what the situation is today, for the sins of my own generation, and I'll be damned if I feel responsible to pay for what happened 300 years ago." See, first of all, he said 300. This was 1975. You was less than 100 years removed from the slavery emancipation in America. But he said he added a whole another 200 years on top of that. You see, this is what this devil said. He said he'd be damned if he feel like he got to pay for the sins of his father and his grandfather. Hey, man, you Edomites gonna pay for that. You Edomites gonna pay for what you did to us, man. And you got a lot to pay for. And Salaki, this is the brother GMS in the truth. Yeah, the brother GMS, and it's just the elder brother Isaiah Salakia. Isaiah. Yeah, second in command out there in Orlando. Shalom to you brothers, all you brothers in Akim, man. But this nigga said Joe Biden said he'd be damned if he got to pay for what his forefathers did, man. You see? So they don't even think that they got something to pay for. That generation passed away, so it's cool. I ain't got to worry about that. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Well, that's what the Lord said, man. That's what the Lord said. You gonna pay. Oh, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay big time. This is Isaiah 14 and 21. Hey, the brother put it up there at the water. I'll rewind what Sleepy Creepy Joe said. And this the man that you champion right now. Him and that demon that's married to that Edomite. Him and that demon, Kabbalah Harris. It's Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the faces of the world with cities. So guess what? You got to pay for that. The most Yahweh Shemel Shah don't care about what you got to say. You gonna pay. When you gonna be the builders, you looking at one of the construction workers for the kingdom of heaven. Ecclesiasticus 27:25. Whoso casteth a stone on high, casteth it on his own head, and a deceitful stroke shall make wounds. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. You're going to pay for that. You got to pay for that. And none of these Edomites feel a necessity to revisit what they've done. Or we just move on. We just keep on moving. We're advancing in technology. You know, we're all about equity. But when Creepy Sleepy Joe, when Weekend at Bernie's got in the office, what did he do? Did he bring some equity? First of all, he cussed out the Black Caucus because they were asking for too much. He cussed them out. And then what did he start doing? He started writing legislation for all these misfits and transvestites and LGBTQZ people. He started writing legislation for them. He ain't write no and for them Asians. Landmark legislation hate bill called the COVID-19 hate bill that protect who? So-called Asian people. So if you touch or accost a so-called Asian person and you happen to be Black, you're going to be, according to what is this man's name? He's the House Majority Leader. He ain't the House Majority Leader, but he one of them high-level senators. He said you're going to pay to the full extent of the law. You see? So they don't care about you. They don't care about your plight either. It costs too much for them to dig up the past.
Dead. Thousands more missing. In 2001, the Oklahoma Commission to Study the Race Riot of 1921 released a report naming 3 locations where mass graves from the massacre may be buried. But at the time, the city administration decided that it wasn't worth the expense to dig up the past.
Yeah, but let that happen to some Edomites or some so-called 1948ers or some Asians. Y'all find that money to dig up the past.
In 2020, the city's current mayor, G.T. Bynum, authorized the excavations to commence.
Yeah, I think one of the things that caused previous public officials to avoid it was this fear that there'd be this giant backlash against it.
Well, they're not fearing a backlash now because you niggas are you niggas don't give a fuck. You don't care about what this devil has done to you. Because according to you, it's all love. God loves everybody. Daniel 9:12. And he have confirmed his word, which he spake against us and against our judges that judge us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. So that Jerusalem are the 12 tribes of Israel. Represent the 12 tribes of Israel. All right? And the brutality and the things that happen to us have never been done under the whole heaven has been done to us. So don't let this smooth talking, slick dress wearing, glasses wearing Edomite fool you. Don't let the soft voice fool you. The clean face fool you. The baby face fool you. He's a devil. This is Satan in the flesh right here, man.
There's steep political price to pay.
The Republican mayor first proposed looking for victims in 2018, a challenge for the predominantly conservative city of Tulsa.
Yeah, why? Because he was running for government, running for mayorship. And you see this big ass highway. All this used to be little Africa, and even all throughout America, where you had wealthy enclaves of so-called Black entrepreneurs and businessmen, where they lived at, you got highways running through those old towns and cities and neighborhoods. They put a whole stretch of highway there. They don't care.
Over 60% of residents are white, and just 15% are Black.
Someone was not happy with me pursuing this investigation, and she came up to me when I was out at breakfast with my wife and kids and said, "You're just trying to make all the white people who lived in Tulsa in the 1920s look bad." And I said, my family were white people in Tulsa in the 1920s. I'm not trying to make them look bad, but everybody who lives here deserves to know what happened.
And that's what Esau do. He like to cover everything up. But as the scripture says, Obadiah, the chapter that Esau is scared to read, Obadiah, let's go to it. Obadiah, there's only one chapter, but Obadiah 1 and 6. How are the things that Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? You see? Because for a long time, for over 100 years, this was hidden to the mass public. All this was hidden.
Mayor appointed local historian Kevin Ross to chair a public oversight committee investigating the mass graves. So far, 12 caskets have been exhumed, and the process of identifying them has begun.
And it's spiritual. 12 caskets have been exhumed. Hey, that's a spiritual number, the 12 tribes of Israel. Our caskets are being exhumed by Yahweh Shema Shai. He already identified us as sons and daughters of Israel, man.
Finding some of these grave sites.
So we got the power of radar, but most of that is basically just good old-fashioned oral history. Those people who kept the story alive.
And our people always had a history of a strong oral tradition amongst us, man. That's another sign we're the Israelites.
We knew of 2 tombstones of those who were victims from 1921, but we had never known that they'll be in a trench, stacked like dominoes. I'm hoping that for the 12 or so bodies that's underneath this ground, we'll have some kind of justice. It's been a hole literally in the hearts of Tulsans because there are loved ones that are out there unknown to us.
Yeah, and Esau don't want to pay you. He don't want to pay for that, man. Look at this. He don't want to pay for that. Look what you did. Look what you Edomites did to us. This is the Tulsa aftermath of the Tulsa riot, Tulsa massacre, June 1st. Hey, today does make 100 years. 1921 is June. Today is June 1st, 2021. This is the Point Journal. This is October 7th, 1906, depicting a race riot in Atlanta, Georgia, the lynchings in the United States. So this from 1906. Esau got his hand around Jake's neck, beating Jake to shit with brass knuckles, man. You know what I'm saying? While another Edomite hold his legs, man. Beating him to death. Nab a Negro for attacking girl in an elevator. A Negro delivery boy who gave his name to police as Diamond Dick. Yeah, he didn't call him Diamond Dick. They called him Diamond Dick. Diamond Dick, but who has been identified as Dick Rawlin, was arrested on South Diamond Dick. Hey, fuck you, Esau, you piece of shit, you lying devil. Was arrested on South Greenwood Avenue this morning by officers Carmichael and Pack and charged with attempting to assault a 17-year-old girl, white elevator girl, in the Drexel building early yesterday. He will be tried in the municipal court this afternoon on a state charge. The girl said she noticed the Negro a few minutes before the attempted assault, looking up and down the hallway on the 3rd floor. So these stories are all conflicting because they say he was the elevator operator. A Drexel building, as if to see if there was anyone in sight, but thought nothing at the time. A few minutes later, he entered the elevator and she claimed, and attacked her, scratching her hands and face. What nigga you know in 1921 attacking some 17-year-old Edomite woman, man? I know niggas is crazy, especially today. But them niggas, hey, Jake had more sense back then. And this is what the aunt said, or I'm sorry, the niece said. Hold on, let me get to it. Right here. Look, right here. Check this out.
Lit up by the rage of a white ruling class.
Telephone poles were burned and falling, and my poor sister, who was 2 years younger than I am, can't hear the word on fire, so I don't think so, but we in deep trouble.
So the catalytic event for the massacre in Tulsa in 1921 began on Monday, May 30th, 1921.
Dick Rowland, 19 years old and black, crossed paths in an elevator with a 17-year-old white girl named Sarah Page. History books offer us one version of events.
Something happened on the elevator. We don't know exactly what, but it's likely that Dick Rowland either bumped into, brushed up against, or stepped on the foot of Sarah Page. She overreacted. She began to scream. Dick Rowland, frightened, ran from the elevator.
Family lore offers another.
What the man saw was not a man attacking a woman, not a black man attacking a woman. What he saw was two people kissing. Sarah Page and Dick Rowland were lovers. He was accused of attacking her, and Sarah, from what we understand, tried to tell him, no, we're in love. We're getting married.
She would refuse to cooperate with prosecutors after they arrested Dick Rowland and charged him with assault. Though that might have been the end of the story, it wasn't, because of the role of the Tulsa Tribune. It published a story the next day entitled "Nab Negro for Attacking Girl in an Elevator."
What happened next should have been shocking, but it's not.
A group of white men amassed on the lawn of the courthouse, numbering ultimately in the thousands.
And he just wanted
black men, several dozen, some of them World War I veterans, marched down to the courthouse, vowing to protect Dick Rowland from what they thought might be a certain death by lynching.
He had an old pistol around the house there. He put one in his pocket. He heard that they were trying to lynch a black boy down at the courthouse.
A white man tried to take a black man's gun, and in the words of a number of survivors of the massacre, all hell broke loose after that.
In less than 24 hours, that mob turned 35 square blocks of unparalleled black economic prosperity into smoldering ashes.
And you see how quick they race it to the ground? That's why Yahweh Shema Shah is going to raise this place to the ground, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you see that, man? You know, there it is, Dick over here giving her that diamond dick, man. He giving her that diamond dick, and she wanted to marry him, man. You know? And I believe what his family said, man. But it ain't no telling. Either might just wanted a reason, man. There was a lot of reasons for them to take that land and to take the property of Jake, like they always been doing. When you go back to Obadiah, they did it back then. It says this Obadiah 1:1, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord. It says Edom will be humbled, right? Because you Edomites are the most proud people on the planet Earth, man. And you proud for all the evil that you've done. And the Most High is going to get you. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her and battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And these other nations, they're going to show their hate for you. Even the other tribes of Edom, like Teman, them Germans. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou accept thyself amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. If these had come to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? Because a thief will come in your crib and steal till he have enough to get up out of there, and he'll leave some stuff all jacked up. But you Edomites, you stole everything. You left nothing to chance and nothing to be recovered. If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things that Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? And all these things are starting to pop up. The Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is having all these things pop up against you, man. You can't hide it no more. So you're going to resort to your base instinct, and you're going to get violent with this again, like you always do. But this time, Yahweh Shema Shai is going to step in, man. Especially when you come for the elect. Lord willing, we are part of the elect. All the Mennonite confederacy have brought thee even to the border. To the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that have eaten thy bread have laid a wound. They that eat thy bread, Salakia, have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Okay, it says, let me skip down. Verse 10. And this is the reason why it's going to happen. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Because we're closer in relation to you Edomites than anybody on this planet Earth. The same ones you murdering and killing, we actually your brothers. But guess what? You broke that brotherly covenant a long time ago. So we no longer brothers. But for your violence against us, shame is gonna cover you real quick. And I'll go back to that. Daniel, I'm sorry, what is it? Shameful spiel. Habakkuk, the book of Habakkuk or Habakkuk. Yep. Habakkuk 2:16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, let thy foreskin be uncovered. Your foreskin shows your nakedness, all your sins. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be thy glory. And shameful spewing is disgrace. Is disgrace. Is going to be your glory. Disgrace is your glory. So going back into Obadiah 1 and 10, for thy violence against thy brother, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners enter into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. But thou shouldest not look on the day of thy brother, and the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah. You hear that? And that's who was attacked in Tulsa in the day of the destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into thy gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yeah, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor laid hand on their substance in the day of their calamity. So you're going to pay for that. See, hey, you Edomites are done. And right now, this is not a time for you to talk. Just like in any courtroom, you Edomites, like the brother said, like the brother Imarayah, you should have never touched this, man. Like in any courtroom, you can't talk. Your lawyer got to talk for you, and your defense lawyer might as well be a public defender, because you ain't got no defense. You don't have a defense. Right now, we're the prosecutors, and we're speaking to the judge, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and we telling you what you've done. We showing all the empirical evidence, all the undeniable evidence, and you're guilty. Your whole nation is going to pay for this. All right? Your whole nation going to pay.
We saw coming up the wall 4 men with torches in their hand. When my mother saw them coming, she said, "You get up under the bed. Get up under the bed." They set our house on fire and went right straight.
And this is testimony right now. What you saying? This is an Israelite testifying against you, man. And his blood is calling out because he's dead. I won't go back to that. His blood is calling out because he's in the spirit world right now. This is in 1999. We already know that this man is in the spirit world. But guess what? His blood is calling out and speaking against you.
She said, "You get up under the bed. Get up under the bed." They set our house on fire and went right straight to the curtains and set the curtains on fire.
We saw over 10,000 people be made homeless. In 18 hours, we saw 1,256 homes destroyed.
Today, that land would have been valued at $25 to $30 million. The official death toll was 37. A number.
Yeah, so you just want, I mean, you Edomites gonna pay, and 2/3 of our people, you tap dancing niggas, you Uncle Sam. Now I even call you Uncle Tom, because Uncle Tom was a righteous dude. But you Sambos, man, and you said you Sambos, and you female Sambos. Yahweh Shem Shai gonna get you, man. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished, man. Hey, so with that, I hope you brothers are edified. To the next time, Shalom.